On Tuesday, the 18th of March, 2025, and this is the Standing Committee for Social Development in the Western Cape Provincial Parliament. A warm welcome to all honourable members, to all guests present here this morning. Also, a special word of welcome to SASSA Western Cape, the entire team. I also see Minister Lont online, and all departmental officials present here this morning. We're going to start with introductions. My name is Wendy Kaiser-Philander, and I'm the chairperson for this committee.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Benedicta van Minnen. I'm a member of this committee.
Good morning. I am Leon van Wyk. I'm a member of this committee.
Morning, Chairperson, morning, colleagues, and morning to our guest. I'm Memory Boyson, and I'm a member of this committee.
Good morning, Chair and our visitors. I'm Bonita Stevens. I'm a member of this committee.
Mine.
Good morning, Chairperson. Good morning, members. My name is Sibusiso Nhlangoti. I'm the acting regional executive manager of SASSA Western Cape.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, members. My name is Clive Jansen. I'm in the executive support in the Office of the Ring.
Good morning, Chairperson. Good morning, members. My name is Griffin Pfeiffer. I'm the acting general manager for grants administration, Western Cape.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, members. My name is Ntsietso Sisiu, and I am the acting general manager, corporate services. Thank you, and SASSA.
Thank you so much. That is, let's also go to our guests in the chambers.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Sune Payne. I'm a journalist with Daily Maverick.
Morning.
Good morning, Chairperson and members. My name is Leslie Corey, and I'm attending as a guest. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Anyone online, members online? No members online. Honourable Minister Lont, good morning.
Good morning, Chairperson, and to all the colleagues, and thank you for having me, and all the best for your deliberations and engagements with SASSA and Postbank today.
Thank you very much, Minister. Anyone else from your department?
Good morning, Honourable Chairperson, Honourable members, as well as the MEC and other guests. It's Robert MacDonald, Head of Social Development in the Western Cape.
Thank you for joining, Dr. MacDonald. Anyone else from DSD?
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, all. This is Monique Mortlock-Malgas, Media Liaison Officer to...
Can I please just ask that you speak up a bit?
Apologies, Chair. This is Monique Mortlock-Malgas, Media Liaison Officer to Minister Lont.
Thank you very much and welcome, Ms. Monique Mortlock-Malgas. Honourable members, we've dealt with the introductions, and perhaps just right next to me, our capable procedural officer.
Morning, Chairman. Morning, members. My name is Nomonde Jamke, Procedural Officer for Social Development and Health.
Thank you very much, Ms. Jamke. And there's no other further apologies from members received?
No apology, Chair.
None. Thank you, colleagues. Then just let us get into this morning's meeting. Colleagues, as you would remember, today's briefing is a follow-up of the committee briefing that was held on the 4th of March this year, or earlier this month. And then the committee resolved and scheduled today's briefing to get an update from Postbank and SASSA on the progress made on the migration process from the SASSA Gold Cards to the Postbank Black Cards in the Western Cape specifically. I have to inform the meeting that we have received an apology from Postbank And I just need to put on record and for transparency purposes to the committee. The invitation was sent to the office of Mrs. Mengashe, the Postbank CEO, on Monday, the 10th of March, of which the same evening we've received the response back from Ms. Jamke to direct the invitation via the protocols as structured, since the entity forms part of the Department of Communications and Digital Technologies, of which Ms. Jamke then did so. On the 11th of March, the invitation was sent to the office of Mrs. Jordan Diani, the DG in the relevant department, and it was then asked that they please confirm the attendance accordingly. Yesterday, as members would know, we normally receive our presentations ahead of time. I think we courteously gave you permission to submit this morning due to your schedule, of course, as well. And following up with Postbank yesterday, we were then informed that they were not, unfortunately, not being able to be present in this meeting this morning due to them being engaged in plans and awareness activities in this period ahead of the deadline of the 20th of March and busy with the current card replacements and the project milestones. Now, colleagues, we will have to resolve that we invite Postbank back. I think it is important to have the follow-up in terms of how far the process is, and if there are some of you that followed the joint briefing yesterday, there were quite a few questions from my side, and I'm sure from your side as well, as to specifically in the Western Cape, and I think the Western Cape was pertinently mentioned in that briefing. So one would want to follow up in terms of the sites that are operational, and in terms of the timelines that was mentioned during that specific briefing. I would then, with the indulgence of the members this morning, Sasa, thank you so much again for being here this morning. So we would obviously now just focus on your presentation and ask the relevant questions emanating from that. As I said, members, we will then invite Postbank as soon as the parliamentary program permits us to do so. So without further ado, you can kindly continue with your presentation. Members, are there any questions perhaps before we proceed? Don't see any hands. Perhaps just before we proceed, Minister Lund, did you perhaps have any remarks?
Chairperson, no, from my side, we appreciate the work that you and the committee is doing. The last engagement I have with the acting regional manager, we still have about 190,000 people in the Western Cape that need to migrate. And SASA also gave their commitment to make sure that whether it's Postbank or whether it's transferals to other bank, they will capture it speedily so that nobody is left behind. So from my side, I am just as interested as you are today with the briefing. So I'll be an active listener, but not a participant unless you call on me to be. Thank you so much, Chair.
Thank you very much, Minister. I see we have another official joining us this morning. Good morning, ma'am. If you can kindly introduce yourself for the record.
Good morning. My apologies for being late. I'm Shivani Wahab, the Senior Manager for Communications from SASA.
Thank you so much for joining us. Mr. Ndlangoti, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Chairperson. Morning once again, members, honorable members. We will go straight to the presentation. As always, we always appreciate the opportunity for us to come and report to the standing committee. And as the chairperson has indicated that we were expected to come and report progress and we received invitation. So we will be doing presentation just to indicate to you where were we at the time and where we are now, and where we will be, where we think we'll be by the time the closing date arrives. I'm not going to waste your time in terms of the delegation. We always come, bring the same team. I will start from the first, from the slide, just indicating where the presentation will focus on. We're going to focus on the statistics, update on the card replacement process. The second thing that we'll talk to is the method of payment. Outreach is planned for this week, 18th, up until the end of the week. Then our strategy as Western Cape SASSA to deal with the backlog of the mob, as Minister Launch has indicated that we made a commitment that we'll try to deal with to capture all the MOPs that we have gathered. I need to mention, Chairperson, upfront that it's also quite not okay for us if Post Bank is not here, because some of the areas we left thinking that Post Bank will fill because they are having the information that we may not have, but we'll try our best to answer all the questions that might arise. The statistics is as it is reflected to date. The post-bank statistics, the number of beneficiaries as at when we started here, we were supposed to migrate or to replace the cards for 336 beneficiaries in the Western Cape. The number of black cards issued as at 12 March 2025, which was last week, 602,680. We received the statistics from Postbank. This is the latest statistics that we have received. We don't have that number might have changed, but we don't have the latest number as we speak because we are relying on Postbank. That's why I said these are the areas that we could not give you the latest information. In terms of our method of payment statistics, the total method of payments, forms collected since we started, people who wanted to receive their money from other banks, 70,964. Number of MOPs finalized as at Friday last week are 44,893. So those are the ones that have been captured and verified from the 70,000. The total completed now, as we speak now, people who are holding black cards and who have requested and they have already migrated from the old card to either the black card or their own banks is 147,573. The remaining number of people who are not migrated are 174,473. The Minister Launch has indicated that when we reported last week in the media conference, we're at 190. Now we've gone down to 174. Also taking into account that this statistics from Postbank is only up to the 12th of March, and our own statistics is only up until Friday. We don't have yesterday's statistics here. We don't have today's statistics. Now, the method of payment statistical information from 18 February to 17 March when we started. The number of mob events completed, we had our outreach programs where we said these are the events that we went out to do other services, but also wanted mob to be part of it. We're 98. We've already done 98 throughout the province. We've collected 70,964, as I reported in the previous slide. The total mobs captured, 37,000, and the mobs verified, 27,696. The number of mob events planned between now and for this week, it's 39 events. We normally plan per week because we assess the situation if there's still a need for more mobs or not. We will assess the week. Towards the end of the week, we'll decide where do we put our mobs event and how many we need. The remaining mobs will be finalized before cutoff date of the 20th March 2025. What needs to be captured between now and the cutoff date is 33,688 and 43,268 is to be verified. I want to indicate there that the statistics that you see there is not only what we get from the outreaches. There are also beneficiaries who go to our offices and they also make their request there. We also take that into account. I just thought that we must put the places where we plan to hold our mob in case the committee. We will circulate the presentation. They can go anytime. The committee members want to see where we'll be for this week. These are the areas and the times where we'll be holding our outreaches. And then what is our strategy moving forward? Because we're very concerned that if we look at the numbers and we also think what needs to be captured, because it doesn't matter if we receive the request from the beneficiary, for as long as we have not captured and verified, that request is as good as it's not there. So we sat down and planned to how do we make sure that every mob that we have received is captured before the cutoff date. We started from the SOCPEN system. On a monthly basis, our official cutoff is on the 18th of the month. This month is 18 March, which means that if we do not capture anything by 18th of March, that person, anything that is captured after 18th of March, the person won't receive the money this month, will receive it next month. So first of all, we needed to request head office to extend the cutoff date from SOCPEN. So we did that, and then we were lucky they agreed to move the cutoff date to 20th March. So the cutoff date is no longer today, it is on Thursday, the 20th. For the period 17 to 18 March 2025, we decided that we're going to take 20%, 70% of the staff members to go and do capturing and verification. Then the day-to-day functioning and the activities of the office by frontline staff, we leave 30% of the staff members. And I want to say this, ma'am, upfront, that we needed to hit many birds with one stone. We may get some complaints that maybe the first services are a bit slower in the office up until the 20th because we are using most of our staff to make sure that come the closing date, people receive their money. Everything is captured and verified. That's why we have reduced staff to 30% that are in the front line. We took most of the staff, 70%, to do the capturing and verification. 2 teams in the metros will work at centralized venues in Belleville local office and in the record management center in Epping. We said for us to manage norms and standards to make sure that each staff member produce the norm for the day, we need to centralize them and they work as a team. So we have 2 teams. The one is sitting in Belleville local office and the other team is sitting at our record management center in Epping. Grant admin staff at the regional office will also be focused on mobs. We also took our regional staff to go and assist anyone that has got a SOCPEN function, including my PA. We try to pull all stops that everybody is utilized. So the staff from regional office is also part of the staff that are capturing and verifying. Local offices in rural districts will assist each other and staff will not be centralized because of distance. We thought that maybe it won't make sense to centralize the rural areas because they are distance and miles apart. So we said they can do their capturing and verification where they are, but we'll have to assist each other. Overtime during the above period will continue as normal. You remember when I came to report here, we indicated that the overtime was approved to make sure that we give this process some kind of attention. we continue with overtime to make sure that we capture as much as possible. Basically, this week, our focus is on capturing and verification. The mob special outreaches will still continue for the week. 47 mobs are planned for this week, from the 17th until the 22nd. Just to note, any mob taken in after 20th March will still be processed, but beneficiaries will only get paid in May. So if we, now that the 18th has been changed to the 20th, we will try that by the 20th, we capture everything, but any request made and captured after the 20th, that beneficiary will only receive the money in the next month. The pictures there is just to indicate the mobs that happen on our outreaches that happened during this weekend. We were all over the region. We had about 15 in the province. You can see there the one was in Khayelitsha, the one was in Mamasbury, the other one in Vredendal, and the other one in Citrusdal. It's just some of them. And then if you can see my picture there, we were trying to spread the message through Radio Zibonele to make sure that we speak to all beneficiaries, those that are at home, those that are elsewhere where the Radio Zibonele can reach. We did also other radio stations during the week, trying to reach as many people and as different communities. I was in Voice of the Cape. We went to 786 and a number of radio stations that we have been, community radio stations where we are. I just thought that, Chairperson, at some point, I promised that our next project after this one is to deal with the queues and clear the queues in the metro. I promised that we'll bring trucks from Northern Cape. The trucks have arrived now. As you can see here, they are. We park them in Atlantis. We are going to rebrand them because they are now fading. They have not been used. And then we're going to come and present to this committee our plan to make sure that in the next 2-3 months, the situation in the metro has changed, because that situation is not good for our beneficiaries, for our staff, and for everyone. We really heard the committees and all the criticisms from the community and the public. We said, let us act on it. We are working on the plan now to focus, first clear the queues in those high-pressured offices like your Eastern Theory, your Belleville, and other areas, so that people can come and just be serviced in a very short space of time. If we finish there, then we'll move to other rural areas. Thank you, Chairperson. For now, I will stop there. I just thought that I just give an indication we can come and make that presentation at that time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Langoti, for the presentation. And I see you've just invited yourself back to the committee as well. Thank you very much. Honourable members, any questions or comments from your side? I see Member Van Wyk, Member Boysen, Van Minnen, and Stevens in that order. Member Van Wyk.
Thank you, Chair. Thanks very much for the presentation. I'm just trying to get an understanding here of how many are still outstanding, because I think we talk about 336,000 number of beneficiaries that we need to deal with. We've got black cards issued of roughly 102,000. And then we talk about MOPs finalized of 44,000. So that's 147. So that's at the bottom of that one page. Then we talk about a remaining number of 174. But if you add 174 to the 147, you get to 322,000. So there's a 14,000 difference there. So if we're saying there's 174 or 188 or whatever, you add the 14 to that still need to be dealt with. We then talk about, on the next page, we talk in that month from 18 Feb to March, we talk about the number of MOPs captured of 37 and verified of 27,000 in that month. as I understand it. So that means we are only able to capture and to verify, it looks like 27 to 37,000. So if I divide even the average of those two of whatever, 31 or 32,000 or something, into the 174, the 188, to me, it means we sit with quite a few months worth of work. You know, it could be 4 or 5 months worth of work to go. And then we talk about the fact that if we don't deal with this, any MOPs taken in after March the 18th still be processed, but they'll only be paid in May. So does that mean they won't get payment now in April? And all of the others might well be delayed into May or into June, depending how long we take to process all of these. Because to me, that's a very worrying situation that we could have tens of thousands of people who will not be paid in April or possibly in May. I don't even want to go into the full numbers there. I don't know, is my understanding correct from what my interpretation is? Thanks.
Thank you very much, Member Van Wyk. Member Boyson? I
Thank
think
you.
we'll take it in twos.
Yeah.
After the second, after your question, you can respond.
Thank you, Chairperson. Member Van Wyk has partly covered me. It is really a pity, Chairperson, that Postbank is not here, because all of us in here, in the chambers, those who are online, those who are listening, we all know what's going to happen after the 20th to those who have not migrated yet and those who have not been captured yet. My understanding, Chairperson, and I think this is probably where the panic mode buttons should be pressed. My understanding was that we've asked Postbank, what's going to happen to those who have not migrated yet on the deadline date? And the answer was they will still be paid. Nobody's not going to get their money. Now, my understanding then was those were the gold card holders on the 20th, after the 20th payment date, the gold card holders would still have access to their last tranche, because surely that should be the last tranche after this month. It should be the last tranche. And missing this month, then really there's an issue of they did not react to the call, or we could not reach them. Now that is going to really set off a crisis to those who would be in possession of the gold card. And I'm saying this, that if Postbank were here, are there no means for them to access their last tranche, that nobody's left out, although capturing and whatever is still happening behind the scenes? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Member Boyson. Perhaps I must just latch on to, because that was going to be partially part of my question as well. Because the SASSA gold cards will be stopped working the 20th of March. I mean, you can confirm, that is my understanding, that a beneficiary will not be able to use the SASSA gold card beyond the 20th. Meaning the pay cycle from the 3rd to the 5th of April, at no given time will a beneficiary be in the position to go into a retail store to either buy food or to withdraw money. That card will not be of any use. Now, my question emanating from that would be, we have these sites identified by Postbank. These gold card beneficiaries, if someone is still in a possession of a gold card, would be able to go to a post office to withdraw money. No any other beneficiary, only if you do have a gold card. We also know that a lot of post office branches has closed down. My question to you this morning would be, what would SASSA's role be? How are you geared for that? Almost want to call it backlash, because again, it will be SASSA. I haven't received my grant. It's SASSA's issue. I can foresee long lines, people not receiving their money. We hope and pray it's not the case. But how are you geared to handle that specific situation? Mr. Nlangoti?
Thank you, Chairperson. I will try to do my best to answer the questions, but if I left any gaps, my colleagues will come in. If you may allow me to start with the last question, because it's kind of important. What will happen to the gold card come the 20th? The gold card will stop working. It will not be working from the 20th. If you are holding a gold card, you are holding a dummy card. You can as well throw it away. Much as Postbank is not here, I will try to answer some of the questions that I know that I'm not familiar with. But Postbank has made arrangement with Post Office, and you are quite right, Chairperson, that these beneficiaries will go to Post Office. They don't need a card, they only need their IDs. Yeah. When they get to Post Office, their money will be there. So there will be no person that says that I went to Post Office, I did not get money. And the Post Bank has assured us, even during the press conference yesterday, the CEO of Post Bank indicated that they have identified 570 branches or around 570 branches of SAPO throughout the country. I may not know how many in the Western Cape now. I don't have the statistics, but I may have it soon. So they have assured us. The other thing that was also put in place by Post Bank is the cashless solution, cardless solution. We already have beneficiaries who are using that kind of solution during the SRD, where they go to Post Office without a card and then get the money. So there will be two options. It's either beneficiaries go to Post Office and receive their money, or they use this cardless solution that Post Bank has put in place. Now, coming to the question of the honorable member, where he was having a problem to say when the card ends. I think he was talking about that there might be no money in the gold card. When the cutoff date comes, and then we take the application for a method of payment change as SASSA, we try to be strategic to say we so that just to make sure that the card is the client gets the money on the plan. Once it is captured, the application is captured, it's only then when the money is not available, because until it is verified and approved. But if it is not captured, the money it becomes still available. So if the people come and apply for a method of change after the 20th or on the 20th, and we capture their we capture. We don't capture and don't verify, they still get the money. But if once we capture, but we do not finish the process, then it holds the money. So we try to make sure that they come, they give the form, and then the form is only captured after they've received the money, so that we don't prevent them from getting the money. But sometimes we do not have that kind of luxury, because we've already got the forms. We try to move them as fast as possible, and then the cutoff date comes. So there will not be a situation where the people come to us and then apply for a method of payment that is changed before the 20th, and then they don't get the money if we capture and verify. The reality is that if you look at the statistics, I'm coming now to Honorable Member Van Wyk's question. If you look at the statistics, you are right, Honorable Member, we may not finish, but we try to reduce numbers as much as possible so that the people who are going to post office are very less to avoid a crisis. And then when it comes to the numbers, that your calculation is not correct, is not wrong. What we did not maybe mention there is that those numbers that you see there, they are also MOPs that are not coming as a result of these outreaches that we go, that are normal when people go to our office, they go and apply. That statistics also add there. So when you look at it, they might not speak to the numbers of the MOPs taken from the event, because there are those that are coming from the offices. And the other thing is that there is statistics for Monday that is not yet here, and for today. But when it comes to Postbank, that 102 is definitely changed because it's only up until the Friday. So the grand total there may not be 174, maybe far less than that, but we don't have the very, very late statistics. I don't know, maybe if I did not cover as something, maybe I'll ask the GM, Grant Administration, to clarify some of the things.
Thank you, sir. Mr.
Sorry.
Pfeiffer.
Thank you, Chairperson, and thank you, Rem. Also, I think Member van Wyk, you've mentioned also on page 2. You've mentioned on page 2 from the 18th what we've done from our side, from SASSA's Western Cape. We kept our stats from the 18th. That is why you will see from our side we've mentioned there's 37 that, or 27,000 that has been verified. Now, once it has been in a verification status, it means it has been finalized. But this total differs from the 44,000 because that from the 44,000 was as from the 1st of January when the whole project basically started. But we kept then our stats as we've started with the overtime period from the 18th of February. So the 44,000 are then 44,800, say 45,000 are then those that has been finalized, and we can only count on that. For those, we are 100% sure because it's been finalized that those people will get the grant during April. Further to that, if we look at where we were standing as a chairperson, one of the questions that came, I think, from MEC Lont last week, and rightfully as our acting Rem was saying, last week we were at 190,000. But also to that, we only had 28,000 MOPs finalized. Now we have, as at the 14th of March, we have 44 finalized. So there were a huge improvement. However, we must also need to take into consideration that the MOPs, as we speak, with the MOPs that we're holding, the events that we're holding, there's always daily incoming of MOPs, daily. So as much as we try to keep up with it, there's also those daily MOPs that's coming in. So those are also increased with regards to the add to the total with regards to the number of MOPs we need then to finalize. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pfeiffer. Then Member van Minnen and then Member Stevens.
Thank you very much. I've got 2 questions. I don't know whether you'll be able to answer them. I think one of them certainly would be a PostNet question. Do you have any idea how many people have migrated from getting payments from PostNet to getting money straight into their bank accounts? I do understand it's probably a PostNet question. And then also one thing I've got concerned about, it talks about verification and processing of forms. You know, with various reasons in politics, one works quite a lot sometimes with cell phone numbers and verifying people's details. I suspect you're in a similar situation, and often one finds that cell phone numbers have either changed or have been written in such a way that you can't always get the correct number. Do you anticipate there's going to be a problem with verification, trying to get hold of people, and one's ultimately going to have to hope that they then come back to a SASSA encounter to be able to actually verify their details? Thanks.
Thank you, Member van Minnen. Member Stevens.
Thank you, Chair. Okay, most of the questions was asked, but I've just have 2 questions. The day of payments, There's a lot of people going to the post offices. Will SASSA make sure that the post office have enough money for that day? Because you do get sometimes when there's payouts, they close the doors, they say there's not enough money. Or either there's a staffing problem. What are SASSA going to do about the post offices? Are you guys going to make sure that there's enough money for payouts and that there's enough staff? And also, there's going to be a lot of complaints and people going to go to the SASSA offices. What are you guys going to do about the long queues and the staff shortages at your offices? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Member Stevens. And then perhaps I just want to reiterate and go back to my question. We know there's a limited amount of post office branches. If you still have a gold card by the 20th, the next pay cycle, you won't be able to. We spoke to that. If you can perhaps just for the sake of the residents of the Western Cape, just put special emphasis on the cardless system or the cardless system. How exactly does that work, please? Will that be you, Mr. Pfeiffer?
Thank you, Chairperson. I will just address the question of the postbank to the bank accounts, ma'am. The postbank to the bank accounts currently has been verified. The number of clients, it's 44,893. That was the number of MOPs that were finalized, basically meaning people that were holding gold cards that went over to the bank, which has already been confirmed and verified, is 44,893. However, on top of that, there is still let's call it an outstanding number of 43,000 people who indicated that they would like to go over to the banks. So those also need to be verified. But as we speak, I can only confirm the number of those people that is already receiving their money through their banking account of their choice. So that is with regards to that one. Rem, can I continue? Okay, in terms of a cardless process, Chairperson, yes, Postbank has indicated with regards to they want to go in terms of a cardless process with regards to that. We haven't engaged them in detail in terms of what will the process exactly entail, but they are busy looking at that process to say we want to have beneficiaries not using any cards to get paid with regards to that. When the process will exactly be unfolded, we're not 100% sure, because I think the focus for now is only to ensure that we have the people being moved over, as many people getting paid during the process. Chairperson, the one question that you've also mentioned about the gold card after the 20th, yes, the gold card will not be working after the 20th. But if we look at the process of the gold card of the black card being replaced by the gold card, it's a process of about 2-3 minutes. We've observed it. So after the 20th, Postbank has undertaken that people can still come and replace the card. So if between the 20th and before the next pay date, people replace their gold cards, they will still be able to get paid during April, because Postbank said they won't stop after the 20th with the issuing of black cards. That will continue with the issuing. So it doesn't mean after the 20th, your gold card will, if you still are able to go and swipe your gold card for the black card, they will still be able to get paid during, as long as it's before the pay cycle of April. That's with regards to that. Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Chair, on the issue of post office having enough cash, that's where when they bring to our attention that there is this alternative when the day comes, that's where we started, because we knew that in the past there was a problem of cash and also maybe limited staff that will create unnecessary queues. They've confirmed, and we have a weekly EXCO meeting where they confirm, even the CO, that they've made provision that there will be enough cash for beneficiaries to receive when they come to post office, and they will also make the post office ready to receive new beneficiaries coming to President. The issue of queues as a result of people encountering problems, that has been happening ever since. Every time after payday, people come to us. I went to the machine, my money is not there, and this and this and this. We always hang them and inform Post Bank that this person came, look into this, but we treat that on a case by case because it is actually not, and it cannot be I don't want to sound as if it cannot be a problem that is created by SASSA, because every month we make sure that the money is in the account of a beneficiary, individual beneficiary. We don't give money to the third party to go. We deposit it to the account of a beneficiary. So if the beneficiary cannot receive money, it is between the beneficiary and the bank. Maybe it's the card is faulty, or maybe the system is down, or what, but it is not between SASSA and the beneficiary. Like you and I, you can go to the ATM, the card is not working, you must go to the bank. But we help the beneficiaries to conduct Post Bank on their behalf to say, look into this matter, the beneficiary went to the machine, the card is faulty. It's either they replace card or they unlock that problem. So we can assure you that there is no beneficiary in any given month that was not paid because SASSA could not deposit money. Money is transferred to all beneficiaries, 19 million of them, they receive their money. But sometimes the glitch happens between the financial institution and the individual. Ma'am, you mentioned there's a question that I did not get right that spoke about the cell phone verification, but I didn't want to disturb you. I was hoping that you may repeat it for us, please.
Yes, sure.
There we go. It's something I think it's probably difficult for you to answer. So somebody comes and they give in their forms and they've got their cell phone number on it. And let's say you need to phone them to verify an issue. The chances are that there are going to be a number of those contact details that are going to either not be legible because of handwriting, or they're going to be incorrect, or they would have changed their numbers. In a case like that, where you're unable to verify them, but they have actually filled in a form, how would you then envisage proceeding in terms of verifications?
Okay, thank you, honorable member. What we've experienced is something that happens in reality. The client do provide somebody else's number, and especially when it comes to the consent form. And we've asked clients, please provide a contactable number where we can contact you. Because what happened in many cases, when these consent forms, we call it the consent forms, where they want to change their method of payment to the bank. So in many cases, what happened, like yesterday during my monitoring visit, I found that the client was still on a maiden name. So the bank verification process could not take place. And then what we normally do, we deal with those cases as exception cases. These are exception cases. These are not straightforward cases because the bank verification could not go through. What we then do, we keep it to one side. We contact the client to say, ma'am, sir, please come and can you please either go to Home Affairs or go to the bank and verify your information, because sometimes the person is just Griffin Pfeiffer, but it is not in terms of the bank, it is the middle name also or the initials also. So things like that. I'm just making an example of that. So the clients are then requested, they contacted and say, ma'am, can you please correct it with regards to that? However, in cases where the client is not contactable, it's very, very challenging for us to get hold of the client. The client will then normally come and say, didn't get paid, and then we will check and say, but ma'am, this is what you need to do. So we are really relying on clients to provide the correct contact detail and not somebody else's contact detail. So where we can contact in cases like that client directly. Thank you, ma'am.
Covered member. Thank you very much, Mr. Pfeiffer. Mr. Nglangoti, I don't see hands online. I would perhaps just want to ask, SASSA in the Western Cape, will you be extending office hours, business hours? It was brought to my attention that your Bellville office closed before 4 o'clock yesterday. And unfortunately, people will have to return today, and as well as offices in Cape Town apparently closing by 9 o'clock, 9:30 yesterday, due to being short-staffed. Are you aware of these situations, and how are you mitigating those? Or, as I've asked from the onset, will there be extended hours in the Western Cape at the SASSA offices?
Ma'am, as I indicated, Chairperson, that because we have taken 70% of staff members to go and do the verification and capturing, there will be some glitches and there will be some, the service will be affected. But I am not aware of the office being closed earlier. If that happened, it's something that we'll take very serious, because it was definitely not on my instruction, and also definitely, but the GM is here for himself to answer. We'll look into that. The answer, the office hours are already extended because we're working overtime. Ever since they started, we close our offices at 6 o'clock. We open on weekends. We close 1 o'clock. So they are. It's an isolated incident, the Belleville one. If it happened, I'm going to investigate immediately after this. And Cape Town local office, I'm also going to investigate.
Thank you.
But the GM is there if there's information that.
Thank you very much for that commitment, Mr. Nlangoti. Can I also ask Jim, in your response, is there a dedicated number, line, WhatsApp, or any other means of communication that members of the public could report such instances when they do occur?
Yes, thank you, Chairperson. This was also news to me. My instruction was very clear. We focus, 70% of our staff will focus on the MOPs because there's a specific project now. Obviously, we will have less staff, but nowhere was it that we're going to close any of our offices. Yes, our services might be limited. So as our acting regional executive manager indicated, something that I will definitely go and look into. In cases of that, because I'm responsible for grants administration overall for Western Cape, I want to know what's going on in each and every office. So any member of the public, they're welcome to contact me to say, but listen, we came to an office and found the office closed or whatsoever, so that I can get that information at first hand, because I will then immediately investigate what is the issue around that and then engage with the office manager. So they're welcome to contact me, Chairperson. Thank you.
Very much. Mr. Pfeiffer, still on that point, what are your means of communication during this time? Are you ramping it up as well? And if you can perhaps just indicate for the record as well, the dedicated number that beneficiaries can call during such instances. Please, thank you.
Oh, we have our central number that every beneficiary can call. It's our toll-free number, but they can use our office numbers that we have in different offices. But our office number is 0860 1011. It's 0800 60 1011. Sorry.
Mr. Nlangoti, are you saying if I'm a beneficiary and I stand in line in a at a SASSA local office this morning, and for some or other reason I'm not assisted, I will be able to call that number and someone on the other side will be able to assist me?
Well, ma'am, that number is a head office number, it's a central call, but we get, once the beneficiary go through, we get that message immediately, and then we will contact the office to go and attend to the number as soon as possible.
Thank you very much, sir. Then Member Boyson.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, I want to emphasize that we are in panic mode. We are all in panic mode. And when we're in panic mode, communications should be simple. And just as an example, and Mr. Pfeiffer answered me on all my concerns, but again, it's in a mix of a lot of questions that are worrying. And then there's the answer in the middle, so that can confuse, even confusion to a beneficiary out there. And I'm gonna come to that. I'm from Plettenberg Bay. and I'm having a Bolokanani funeral scheme, which you pay at a post office. There were times when Plettenberg Bay's post office were closed for days on end, probably weeks on end. I went to the post office in Knysna, and they asked me, Knysna, why am I coming to Knysna and not to Plet? And I told them the Plet post office is closed, because that's the perception. You go there, there's no one, the doors are locked. They said to me, it's not closed. And they did not have the system to process my Bolokanani scheme. They don't have it in Knysna. They have it in Plet. I went back to Plet, it was open. I went back again because it's monthly payments. I went back another month, close. We were a queue. Now my plea, chairperson, is that out of the communications, there must be communication that tells the public which post offices are closed for good, so that people know they should not get up, go and stand in a queue like we did in Plettenberg Bay. I'm still not knowing whether it's closed or not closed, because I turned back last month. So if people know, chairperson, which post offices are closed, they're not going to go there. And I want to come back to the simple communication that Mr. Pfeiffer touched on, where he said that if you're still having a gold card, before payment day, you would still have your money if you go to these post offices. That is simple for me. Then people would know wherever they are, my post office would still be able to process my gold card, and not have people waking up, going to the nearest post office, or to find that those post offices are defunct. So you answered that. For me, that is simple. And for me, that should be the buzz communication. These post offices will still assist you before payday. After payday, you need to have the transition. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Member Boyson. Mr. Langoti, you want to respond?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think the honorable member has got a very serious point. What we need to do from here is to make contact with Post Bank to indicate exactly per area which post office branches will be open for beneficiaries to go. And then we will circulate that and all ask Post Bank to circulate them on their own and also on our side. But it's going to be very important that we name the post office branches by name per area. We have taken that as a note. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Ma'am, I note your hand at the back. I will grant an opportunity in terms of our rules. We're just going to deal with members, and then I will swiftly get back to you. I hope that's in order. Thank you very much. Honorable members, are there any other questions from your side? I still have one question. Not? Going once? Thank you then, Mr. Langoti. In terms of the home visit program that has also now fully started and kicked in, so you will be covering residential homes, you will be covering nursing homes as well. And that is for beneficiaries that are incapacitated in movement and obviously disabled, that won't be able to visit SASSA offices or a switching site for that matter. So beneficiaries can now book their visits through SASSA. Can you perhaps, just for the benefit of the residents of the Western Cape, explain to us exactly what that process is? And yeah, who can do the application at the SASSA office, and also the timeline, given what we spoke about earlier on the 20th deadline, but then the period in between the next pay cycle. If you can perhaps just enlighten the committee and residents as well. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chair. I will just open to respond to part of that, and the process I will give to the GM to explain exactly what the beneficiaries need to do when they apply for home visit. We spoke about home visit with the Post Bank, and then they have assured us that they are now kicking the home visit they're kicking off the home visits, and their process is that they would prefer that the beneficiaries, and the CEO of SASSA said that of Postbank said that on the press conference at the city, that they prefer to deal with the procurators for the beneficiaries that are bedridden, because they are unable to deliver cards at home because of their bank rules and everything. So that will be done through procurators, but they are ready and geared to deal with that. In terms of the process, when you request a home visit, I think the GM will cover that, and then the turnaround time and all that. But this time, we are dependent on post office to tell us when, and then we're ready. We've already given them some of the names of the requests that they requested to say go to this house and the addresses. We're now collecting other names and addresses through our SOCPEN to indicate to them those beneficiaries who have requested the home visit. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Pfeiffer?
Thank you, Chairperson. The process with regards to home visits from our side will be then the home visit is registered with us. Normally, what we've done, we've decided to centralize those home visits, those requests. So whether it comes from the community or whether it comes from our offices, we centralize it at our regional unit who are responsible then to consolidate those home visits. And then from there, it is communicated to Postbank for them then to conduct the home visit. So that is the process in terms of home visits. Home visits we centralize, it is registered, we inform Postbank, and then we depended on them to conduct the home visit. So we centralize the home visit in order to have easier control over the home visit that is not here and there and everywhere. So we centralize it and then provide them with the details of the beneficiary with regards to that. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Pfeiffer. Any other questions, members? Oh, if you can perhaps just also enlighten the committee on unqualifying home visits. If people they now register or apply to have a home visit, I believe there's a fine attached to that as well.
Chairperson, I'm not aware of any fines, because the responsibility of the home visits to be conducted is that of Postbank. So we don't know what are their rules of engagement when it come to the home visit. Our job is just to take in the names, register it, and then provide them with the details with regards to in terms of their final details and their final policies and the rules with regards to home visit. I cannot unfortunately elaborate on that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pfeiffer. I've learned that there is a fine apparently attached to that, but we will leave that to the entity to communicate with residents accordingly. No members in chambers. Any questions? None. Honorable member, good morning. Member Kamfer, good morning. Are there any questions from your side?
Morning, Chair, colleagues, administration. I'm shocked I see this meeting, Chair. So I'm shall follow. No, so it's fine. I'm now fine for now.
Thank you very much, Member Kamfer. Colleagues, then in terms of Section 118 of the Constitution and outstanding Rule 72, it does require for us as committees and other parliamentary processes to involve members of the public as well. And I always find it very heartwarming and, good that members of the public do attend our committee meetings and take part in the processes of Parliament. So, ma'am, way at the back, you are most welcome. I am going to give you an opportunity.
Chairperson, firstly, I just want to express my sincere appreciation for the opportunity that is granted to me. I just heard what the one member said about the...
My apologies for interrupting you, ma'am. If you can perhaps just speak up a bit and just reintroduce yourself, please.
My name is Leslie Corrie. I want to express my humble gratitude for this opportunity that is granted to me. I heard the one member speak about the panic that is outside, and I just need to confirm my understanding in terms of who should be worried today, who is not going to get money. My understanding is coming the 20th of March. If my application is in, it's verified, then I have my black card, I am A4 away. I will definitely get my money when I get to the point. Coming 20 March, and I do not have a black card, my application has not been verified, and I still have my gold card. I can still go and I can still get paid, but at that day, I must somewhere do my application and the officer will help me to process my application. So there's no need for me to worry. The opportunity will still be there if I understand my colleagues correctly. My question is, who should be panicking then? If the opportunity is there, come 20, you can still apply. Can my dear colleagues please help me if I am busy misunderstanding anything? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Ms. Corrie, Mr. Langoti.
I will try to answer to the best of my ability. Come the 20th, two things that we must clarify. If you are holding a black card after the 20th, that card is not working. The gold yellow card is not working. You can't use it anywhere. So you are like you don't have a card. But if you don't have if you don't have a gold card, but you have replaced it with a black card, that card is working immediately. You don't have to worry. So anybody who's carrying a black card must not worry. A person who's carrying a gold card who has not applied for a new method of payment to another bank, that person must worry. That is a person who must go to the post office and request to be given money with the ID. If you have applied for the money to be paid in your bank, whether you're holding a bank card, because that card won't be working now, and then SASSA has not verified and has not captured and verified you, then you will have a problem. That's why SASSA is working around the clock to make sure that those applications are captured and verified. So that is a problem that is not within the beneficiary. That the SASSA must make sure that they capture all the requests that they have received. So it's the gold card. People must understand that the gold card ceased to exist on the 20th. But the GM made a very important to say that after the 20th, it doesn't mean that Postbank stop issuing cards. They will continue until all the beneficiaries are issued card. The emphasis of the 20th is only to remind people that the yellow card will cease to apply. And definitely Postbank will not by then having issued to all of them. So they will go to the Postbank. So there will not be that much panic. You may not be holding a black card then, but you can still get money, and the Postbank will still be issuing a card, which means that by April, you would get money now through post office. By April, you will be holding a new card. Then there won't be need to go to post office. I think I've covered.
Thank you very much, Mr. Langoti. Ms. Corrie, are you satisfied?
Chairperson, maybe just a comment that the cases where the people have applied, but SASSA has not done the verification, those may be high risk matters. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It is duly noted by this committee as well as the SASSA officials present here this morning. And perhaps just after this meeting, you will have an opportunity to further engage the officials as well. The gentleman just in front of you, I just want you to introduce yourself for the record, please.
Thank you, Chairperson. My name is Roscoe Jacobs. I'm the liaison officer for the leader of the opposition.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so Chairperson.
No, thank you. I just want to address you. If you can put off your mic, please. I am going to make a ruling, sir, in terms of Rule 72 that speaks to public access and involvement. I believe that the party that you represent does have a representative on the committee. Hence, I'm not going to allow for a political appointee to ask a question. I hope you understand. And you're most welcome to direct any question or concern that you have to the Honourable Member Comfer in that regard. Thank you very much, sir. I don't see any hands online. At this point, Minister Lond, anything from your side?
No, Chairperson, I'm happy. Thank you so much. And if we take hands, communicate clearly, we'll make sure that the beneficiaries in the Western Cape has the best chance of migrating. But thank you for the work that you and the committee is doing, holding myself, the department, but also our colleagues from the national entities to account. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Minister. And also, I think one should say thank you to you and your department as well. I think it's been a wonderful relationship that one has seen developing between SASSA especially and the department in the Western Cape. And that is just something that can grow, and all of that is to the benefit of our residents. Colleagues, I believe that then brings us to the end of our meeting. We can obviously have a resolution. SASSA has already indicated their availability to come back to this committee. We will then also send an invite to Postbank as well, just to have a grasp as to what is happening in the Western Cape and how far we are with the migration process as well. That brings us to the end, not the end for committee members. We still have some committee documentation that we have to see to, but we will have a leg stretch for, say, a few minutes. We'll be back at 10:30, if that is in order, members. SASSA, thank you very much for your attendance. Thank you so much that you're always available to come and account to this committee. And thank you for the work that you are doing, and all the best in the days to come. We're not over this crisis yet. We must call it a crisis, because I believe there was a lot of panic. There's still a lot of beneficiaries that need to switch. There's still a lot of uncertainty out there as well. That is why I think members were also hampering on the fact of communicating, but also communicating in terms or in language that our beneficiaries will be able to understand, and they exactly know what it is that they need to do by the 20th or after the 20th, before the next payment cycle 3 to 5 April. So thank you again for being here this morning. We appreciate. Colleagues, then we will take a short break and be back at 10:30. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. You must raise that. Yeah, to hear. Yeah. Now ask him to talk to him.
set of meeting documentation to deal with, and that is the minutes of proceeding of our standing committee meeting on the 4th of March. If you can kindly check your attendance on page 1, members. And we then dealt with the opening and welcoming as well. Any additions on page 2? On page 3, Ms. Jamke, the very last paragraph, I think the third line, a partnership with SPA. I think it was supposed to be SPAR, SPA, page 3. The last paragraph, the third line. Just a spelling error that needs to be corrected. And then page 4. Any additions, members? Member Van Minnen?
Just to say, I wasn't at that meeting. I was at a workshop. It should actually read Member Mbomba rather than Van Minnen on page 1. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Member Van Minnen. We will make that correction as well. Page 5, honorable members. Any corrections, additions? Covered. And then page 6. No hands. Honorable members, can I ask for a proposer to accept or adopt the minutes with amendments dated the 4th of March, please? Amendments. Thank you very much, Member Van Wyk, and seconded.
Seconded by Member
Thank you
Boyson.
very much, Member Boyson. Then our minutes are duly adopted. Members, in terms of resolutions, recommendations based on our briefing received by SASSA this morning, I know we've mentioned, Ms. Jamke, that we will again extend an invitation to SASSA as well as Postbank to brief the committee on progress. I think we can consult with indulgence of the members. I will engage the procedural officer as well as Ms. Simon that deals with the parliamentary committee to see when best we can have the two entities back in committee. Members, are there any other matters? Member Boyson?
Chairperson, just the listing of the defunct post offices so that the community can be aware.
The listing of the defunct. Is that now post offices that are operational, that are closed, defunction?
Should
Sure. You had us there, member. Please, your mic, member Stevens.
Chair, I think also the post offices that's in operation, because I know in the whole of Kraaifontein area, the only one is Brackenfell, because the Kraaifontein one is closed down. Both days closed down. So
Yeah.
if they
And I
can
think-
also send that for us.
Sure.
Thank you, Chair.
And I think you might mention we don't want statistical information. We actually want the actual names of those post offices, those that are in operation and those that are not. Member Van Wyk?
I think, look, I'm covered by Member Stevens because I think it was probably more important to find out which ones
Which ones
will
are
open.
operating? Thank you very much. Member Kam, for any resolution?
Yes, yes, Chair, we support Member Stevens with the conclusion that all the post office, specific in not in the rural areas, but also in the townships, that we must check where the post office is close. That these people must accommodate. That is all what I will add. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Member Kamfer. I think that's covered in the resolution as well. Members, in the absence of any further business or comments that deals with our business this morning, thank you very much for your active participation, members. Have a blessed week further, and thank you so much. Our meeting is adjourned.
you.